Well, it's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, I wanted to talk about a fight that took place this past weekend. You know, I know there was a lot of focus on Munguia versus Ballard and Amir Khan versus Kell Brook. But I'm going to tell you guys like this. The best fight of last weekend, and I watched, I watched the whole entire Kell Brook card. I watched the whole entire Munguia card. The best fight that I saw last weekend, and I highly doubt there was a fight on earth better than this fight. The best fight I saw was between two Mexican fighters on the undercard of Munguia versus Ballard, and that came in the form of prospect Diego Torres Nunez and a new personal favorite of mine in Jonathan Escebedo Martinez. Now, a hell of a fight between Torres and Escebedo. You know, I got to really tip my cap and take my hat off to both fighters. You know, when we talk about Mexican warriors, these guys, I think, did the term of being a Mexican warrior justice. I mean, both guys went out there and just fought their asses off. We'll start with Torres, man. Torres was a guy coming into this fight that, he was 13-0 coming into the fight. Both these guys are lightweight, so they both compete at 135. But I would say that I'd venture to say that you can't really find too many lightweights that were more active in 2021 than Torres. I mean, Torres had fought 6 times in 2021. All 6 fights ended by the same fashion. They all ended by a stoppage victory, by knockouts. So Torres, he didn't beat anybody great. I'll be honest with you. He didn't beat anybody like spectacular, like any great opponents, because it's early in his career and he's just fighting in Mexico. But a knockout is a knockout, and it doesn't matter if you knock out a world-class fighter or a can. Getting a knockout over anybody is the best thing you could do in a boxing ring, and he did it 6 times in the 6 fights that he had last year. So you give him credit for that. He had him with the nice, pretty record, 14-0, 24 years old. Then you had the 20-year-old, Jonathan Escebedo Martinez, a guy that I knew nothing about, but he's been fighting, at these club shows in Mexico, fought in a little bit better opposition than Torres. The fight before this, he had defeated 11-0 Jimmer Espinoza. Okay, I don't know who that is, but shit, he was undefeated. So maybe that's better than what's on Torres' resume on paper, at least. So it was a good fight, really good fight, amazing fight of the year candidate type of fight. Torres was the longer guy, rangier, came out early on in the fight, boxing beautifully. Sharp jabs, 3-punch combinations, throwing left hooks going backwards, left hooks going to the side, just doing everything he could to hurt Escebedo Martinez. And he even wound up cutting him early. I believe it was like round number, I can't remember the number round, but I can't remember the round, but it was like in the between the 3rd or the 4th round, I think. There was a cut that opened up on the eye of Martinez, because this guy was tough. He kept coming forward. Like, for those of you who want a fighter comparison, this guy, Escebedo Martinez, reminds me of Rene Telis Garon, from the guy that knocked out Balderas. Very short, very stocky. You could hit him with the freaking spiked baseball bat. He's gonna keep coming. That's the kind of tenacity he fights with. He has that tenacity that a lot of Mexican fighters tend to have. And being that he's 20 years old on the come up, he's trying to prove himself and take the all of this guy. So, he kept coming, and it was a fight where if you're Torres, you had to really stay composed and continue to box and move and hit this guy and hurt this guy and get his respect over and over again, because it just seemed like the more he hit Escebedo, the more Escebedo kept coming. And funny enough, right, I can't remember the round. It might have been like the 5th or the 6th round, but the referee wound up taking a point away from Torres. And the back half of the fight, the last 4 rounds or so, I thought Escebedo was bossing the fight, doing a great job. The pressure was bursting the pipes of Nunez, of Diego Torres. He spit out his mouthpiece in the whole fight. He spit out his mouthpiece 3 times. And the first time that his mouthpiece came out, I thought it was just because, it was incidental because of a punch. The second 2 times he spit out his mouthpiece was just down to exhaustion. He was trying to buy time, because that was the kind of pressure that this dude Escebedo was putting on him, and it was you know, it's just amazing to see what he could do in this fight. Escebedo, you know, he was landing a good solid left hook consistently. The more the fight went on, the more tired Torres got, the more the left hook continued to find a home. And man, this guy, the result of the fight was Torres winning a unanimous decision with some really bad wide scorecards. Like two judges had it 97 to 92 for Torres, one had it 91-98. I didn't see it that way. I actually thought this fight was close. I could have seen Escebedo winning it, or maybe it being a draw, but I couldn't really see it being any more, especially with the point deduction for Torres. I couldn't see it being any more than like a 2-point win for Torres. Torres was very good early on. Torres did a good job of hurting Escebedo early on, but Torres could not maintain that, and and the longer the fight progressed, the more he lost control of the fight. So I think at the worst you could do is a 90. I think the fight was either like 96-94 or something like that. You know, 97-93. That would have been acceptable. You know, but Escebedo, man, he listen. Torres won the fight. He moves to 14-0. It's the first time in his career he's gone the distance. So we'll see how he progresses in his career. But you know, Torres wins the fight. But for me, Escebedo won the night. He won the event, because now I want to see this guy fight all the time. Anytime this guy fights, I'm a fan. I want to see him fight all the time, because you just don't see fighters fight with that kind of tenacity every single day. And listen, I wouldn't advise him to keep making every fight a blood and guts war, but he just had that. That's just natural. That's within him. Like, that's how he fights. So there's a lot of fights I want to see this guy in. You know, there's one fight in particular that I want to see this guy in the future. I'll make a video about that, because I'm a fan. I'm on board. Like, anytime I see this guy's name on the card, I'm fully on board with what he's got going on, because he's doing his thing. You know, he's trained by Eddie Reynoso's father, Chepo Reynoso. I saw Chepo in the corner, and Chepo, you know, Chepo's got a good fighter there, and he listen. He don't got the most punching power. He's still very, very young. I'm hoping that they can kind of pull back the reins a little bit and stop matching him with these hard ass fights, because they have matched him tough. He's not gonna have a long career if you keep matching him like this. You know, he's 20 years old. He's 8-3-1 at 20 years old. So pull back a little bit. Work on some of the more nuanced skills of boxing, because I think they have something there with this kid. I'm not saying he'll be a world champion or nothing like that, but he's definitely got the tenacity, the balls, the determination, and the mental fortitude to make a mark in boxing. I like him a lot, and I'm gonna be following him. Torres, you know, good for him. He did his thing as well. I don't want to just make this all about Escebedo. He did a great job as well, weathering the storm and continuing to punch Escebedo and make him respect him. I just think, like, you know, there probably will be now, for people that have been following him, there will be a little bit of questions about his gas tank in the back half of fights and his punch power in the back half of fights. But it's all about fighter development. You know, fighters are going to develop. Fighters are going to go through these kind of fights, and these kind of fights are good for a guy like Torres. You know, you're not going to knock everybody out. So it's good that he go through this experience, because now the next guy he fights, or the next couple guys he fights, are going to feel a lot more easier because of what he went through in this fight with Jonathan Escebedo Martinez. So if you didn't see this fight, if you have the zone, or if they have the highlights, and they had the highlights on YouTube, go watch the highlights. Go watch the fight. It was an all-out Mexican blood and guts war. Everything you'd want as a boxing fan. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. You guys leave your comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on True School Sports, the home of boxing. If you made it this far, do me a favor and do yourself a damn favor. Hit that subscribe button, and surely you will not be disappointed. You know, True School Sports bringing you the latest and greatest, the untouchable, you know, boxing content, interviews, news videos, breakdowns, live fight reaction extravaganza. We've got a great community of people here, boxing fans all over the world, from America to the UK to Australia, and on and on and on. So join the empire today. Hit that subscribe button. Take care and God bless.